I am back. We are live. Happy Sunday. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where today I'm here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. We're going to live to fight another day. You guys make sure you are liking the video, sending me a comment. Shout out to my replay gang. Sorry, y'all couldn't make the live, but that's okay. Y'all rewatch me. Y'all just leave a comment. I love to see it. And make sure you are subscribed to me, y'all. I get a lot of people who watch me but do not subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It is free 99. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Good morning, good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. I hope you guys consider liking the video, leaving a comment. It does help the algorithm.
Yes, it does. Please like the video, you guys. Help me get seen. Help everyone to come watch me out. You guys love these shows. I know you do. So make sure you also send in that love to Mrs. Best as well. Any reviews or recaps I do not cover on my channel. It's because we are on her channel covering. We have Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We just got it done with This Is Polly. And we did Love After Lockup on Saturday with also Keywan J TV. We had a blast doing the show. We had some great perspectives. So if you guys love those shows, you'll go back to Mrs. Best's channel, subscribe to her first, and then rewatch the playback of our videos. So with that being said, y'all, let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is the reunion. So before we start the reunion, we are setting the time back an hour to watch everybody get there. We have a producer. I did not catch his name, and I don't really care because at the end of the day, I don't know him. Like I knew Sonny and then the other one. So not to say he's not as important. He's very much important, but it just didn't wow me the way I wanted to. He's going over there asking everybody how they're doing, how's everything going. Very bravo of Carlos King's production. But you know, hey, I don't know what to say about that. But as we're, getting everyone's pleasantries, Nell is getting wheeled in a wheelchair. I'm like, what is going on? What happened to Nell? I don't. She gonna have to explain that later because she didn't explain it this episode. Martell is late. Martell said that he had his suit custom made and it was getting flown in from Paris, but it did not make it. So he has to go to the mall and get him another suit. So he is late. The producer found the problem with this and went to Carlos right away. And Carlos called him and said, Martell, where are you? He said, I'm currently looking for a suit. And mind you, I think at this time, they probably were either 20 or 30 minutes before they were supposed to be filming. Carlos says, if you don't get your ass here right now, we got a show to do. What you talking about? You finding a suit, and it was coming from Paris. Now, Mrs. Best, do you believe Martell ordered him a suit from Paris to get to the U.S.?
I honestly didn't think about it. I just thought it was funny he was late, but I didn't think about it. A suit from Paris can cost the same as a suit in America, so I don't understand why he would, but I feel like this is part of what's wrong with it. Like, it felt like he was plagiarizing Bravo and TLC, wanting to show the backstage moments and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, because I was just like, okay, he forgot his suit. But something tells me that Martell let somebody on staff know that he might be late looking for a suit.
Yeah, and this is definitely looking for a moment, some wow factor that we don't care about. If y'all have to do this so early on in the reunion sequence, that means there's something that's going to happen that really is going to wow us. But he introduces
bad part one. I just think with this show, stop trying to force wow factors and big moments, or stop trying to let something happen naturally. But I feel like he probably warned them about the suit, because I could say a lot negative about Martell, but as he said, he's been to so many reunions before, has not been late. Sometimes stuff happens, but I feel like they wanted to make a thing out of it to accommodate him.
I 100% agree with that. So everybody's getting there. Martell gets there late, but he ends up making it before the reunion actually starts. Everyone is on stage. I wasn't a fan of what anybody had on. I was the only person whose suit that I really liked was Chris Fletcher's suit. I thought that white with those black cuffs were were very nice. I didn't like Nell's dress at all. I didn't like Destiny's dress. I didn't like Tisha's. Kimmy's was okay, and Trish was just there. Mrs. Best, was there anybody's reunion look that you liked?
I did think Kimmi looked nice,
Mm-hmm.
but Destiny's hair was good. I just didn't like her dress. Um, I mean, nobody looked bad. I wish Miss Nell would have kept her hair down instead of putting that wig up.
Yes.
But nobody
Yes.
looked bad. I thought Nell and Chris actually looked nice together. I don't think anyone looked bad this reunion. They all did well. I just think Destiny has to understand that her titties did not fit that dress. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go so when we start at the reunion, we actually start off with Maurice and Kimmi. Carlos lets Maurice know that he is actually now the most hated husband on the Love and Marriage franchise, surpassing Martell Hope. And Maurice took that with a grain, of salt, but also kind of accepted it in a way because he can tell that probably how he showed up on camera wasn't in his best interest at all. And Carlos calls out Kimmi, and he's been watching all of the YouTubers, regardless if Carlos says he doesn't. He's been watching all of this. We have called Kimmi a pick me. We saying that she just doesn't want to be alone. He was calling out all the things that everybody is saying collectively, which is how it looks. And Kimmi said, "No, Carlos. I love being alone. That's one of my favorite things to be because I wouldn't be in a relationship with this man if I didn't want to be alone. I would be alone." So Carlos asked her, like, well, is there anything that he could do that would actually get you to leave him? Would you accept cheating? And Kimmi said, and she thought about it for a while. Kimmi was like, no, I wouldn't accept that he cheated on me. Maurice is the best guy that I have ever been with, the best guy that I have ever known. But if he were to cheat on me, I don't know if I would 100% forgive him. Maurice looked at her and he said, "Oh, well, that's something that we have to talk about in our therapy session because that's news to me." And I was highly confused. And I said, "Wait, what?" And Maurice goes on to say she thinks I'm the best guy that she had ever known and that ever had been with. But if I do step out on you, you have to question all of that over that one mistake. And that's the Scott's problem right there because Marceau does this too. That gets in question when you decide to do something that is heinous or goes against your wedding vow, sir. Your character goes out the window. All of what she's saying goes out the window when you betray her. I think that that's what they're missing because it's not about your action, it's about who she saw you to be. And she was actually right. That now comes into question when you do it. Because now I have to rethink of who I know you to be and who you actually are. And I was mind blown by this conversation. Do I think Kimmi is going nowhere? It's like what Nell said. Nell said it best. She said, listen, I could say I'm leaving, I could say I'm gone, but when it actually happens, I didn't know what to do. I was confused. I was questioning things, but no matter what, I knew I still loved him. But did I love him enough to say, hey, maybe we can work on it? And if he shows me he can do better, maybe I can stick around. It was kind of giving bullshit antics, but if that's her truth, that's her truth. But I feel like if Maurice were to cheat on Kimmi, which I feel he has, this is my personal opinion. I'm going to say allegedly to protect myself, but I definitely feel that he has already. And I think she's already forgiven him. And I do think that she knows about it. Mrs. Best, do you feel that Maurice has cheated on Kimmi? And do you think that if that were to come up in any blog or anywhere that there is proof of it, do you think that she will leave?
No, I don't think Kimmi will leave if she's cheated on.
Mm. Yeah. None of us think she's going anywhere. I think she likes where it is. I think that she loves her relationship. And I think she loves being a wife, regardless of whatever comes with it afterwards. I think that that is where her pleasure is. Now, the next thing they talk about was the sex 3 times a day and
I
all
actually
of.
don't think Kimmi loves being a wife. I think a lot of the Love and Marriage Huntsville fandom, because I had commented on this scene that we just discussed on the reunion online, and people
Mhm.
were like, they're showing us what a real marriage is. And this is why the real divorce rates are so fucking high
Yeah.
in America. They are terrible as a couple and independently. If you will, I just feel like Kimmi is just going to say throughout this whole reunion whatever she thinks will make her look good, or they'll deflect, if that makes sense. But I don't think she enjoys being a wife, because if she enjoyed being a wife, the complaint about having to have sex with your husband would not keep coming up. The complaint and the lack of sexual energy and intimacy would not be coming from the fact that your man elevated himself, got a degree, did what a lot of Black men never do, and became an attorney. He elevated himself. The fact that that doesn't turn her on tells me that she may not like being a wife to her husband. And then I'm thinking about the earlier seasons with Kiowa and stuff. Like, I think it's reckless to think or say that Kimmi is happy being a wife. I think she's a pick-me that's insecure, and probably one of them Black women who feel like she's too old to find another husband, so she should just stay with this one, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. I do. I totally see what you're saying. But in all, I think that where I was going with it, it was kind of mirroring that, but still the element of wife versus what we were alleging her to be at that time, which was side chick. I think that there was kind of a hindrance for her of those two things. I think that one, no, she did not like being called the side chick to him, because I guess technically he was still married when they were messing with each other, versus her now being his wife and still liking the title of that part versus the other part. I think that that's where I was going with it, because there was another factor that she did play, allegedly, even though she
but that
denies
was
it.
like 10 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do people move on from that? That was a cajillion seasons ago. Now they've been married how many years?
7, from what she said on this reunion.
Yeah, Lord.
I
Toxic
just
marriage.
think it is very toxic. The thing about the sex does come up about him needing it 3 times a day or whatever. And then they completely denounced that. They said that it does not happen 3 days a week. That was taken out of context. It was not. She says that it would be impossible for them to do that. Now, have they done that? Yes. But it's not an everyday thing or everyday need. And I said, see, this is where I start to, lose hope that they have common sense and not play in our face. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't have made the comment that I was told that she can stand up more than I can sit down. And this lady wouldn't have made this face if y'all were not serious and that wasn't something. Now, do I think y'all have sex 3 times a day? No. But do I think he would want to? Absolutely. And do I think he's thought of the thought of stepping out so that he gets it? Yes, I do. But this lady wouldn't have made this face if Maurice wouldn't have made that comment. I think y'all are trying to get ahead of the viewers and trying to clean it up now, but we know what it is. And there's a bigger problem here that y'all just won't say. But, hey, that's their marriage. I don't really care. I just thought it was funny. I thought this whole first part, starting with them, was funny. I thought it was deplorable. I thought, wow,
They
shame on
wanted to
y'all.
get it out the way because Maurice is an attorney. Kimmi is highly educated. I feel like if anyone on the cast would go to production and know how to threaten them without production knowing that they're being threatened, it would be those two. Even his own brother called him a sleazy attorney. Like, I too thought it was strange that they started with them as the segment. Very odd. But they trying to clean it up, baby. Y'all got a therapist breaking character in session while filmed on a nationally syndicated television show. So that lady's face is proof right there to any motherfucker that really thinks that these people are a good example of love and marriage and blackness, whether you white, polka dot, Asian, I don't care what you are. These people are a terrible example of marriage because you got one of them that's settling and deflecting and defending him. And then you got the man who's doing God knows what behind her back while objectifying her body, even when she's doing things like having cancer and helping to raise his kids. Like, these people are horrible.
Very horrible. Very horrible, very horrible. And I thank you for pointing that out because that's exactly what it is. Do better, Maurice and Kimmi. So we're going to move on to Trish and Ken, unfortunately. We know in today's time they're not together. So we know this whole segment is bullshit. But for shits and giggles, we're going to go ahead and get into them. So Trisha is officially divorced from Marquez. She announced it in the show. We know in today's time it all happened. We all saw it. Congratulations, whoop-de-doo. We know in real life, she over there on pop the balloon and shit, trying to get with kids that
Isn't
are
it
her son's age.
amazing, though, how quiet it is now that the divorce is final? Everybody loved to say and side with the woman, which I understand. I'm for women too, but everybody was making it seem like Marquez was the problem. Trisha, Ken, and all of that. Now that they've divorced, we ain't heard a peep from him. She ain't complaining about him. The kids ain't saying nothing. It's showing us who the problem really was. Just saying.
Yeah. I was always saying this, the problem was her. Just because nothing add up. One, this lady lies way too much for me. And it doesn't even make sense why she would lie over something so stupid. And then two, she got way too aggravated just by hearing his name, his presence. It was like, okay, if you're really done with somebody, you're done. Then the whole question about when her and Kim were talking versus when they weren't talking. And now we learned that there was a whole nother dude that she was talking to. Now we trying to figure out, when did that happen? So let's get into that. So it's being questioned about the DM situation. Ken said that he wasn't in anybody's DMs who weren't in his DMs. And we were all confused by that. But what I took that to mean is that he's not seeking out that. He's just going to respond to whatever thirsty ass lady is up in his, DMs. And he's probably deciphering and looking through pictures to see if the woman has kids or not. So, and I'm not trying to be funny. It just seems like that's usually his go-to, meaning that he had Trish and the lady before her had a child as well that he grown attached to. So it seems like that's usually his MO. But he said that he was not trying to entertain anybody, and he just had a couple of flings, and that he did sleep with a woman. He got in a whole apartment, but he did sleep with one woman, and then Trish, and then we acknowledge her swinging around the block or whatever the fuck that she said that she didn't do, and that she just went on a walk with somebody, which they had to hold her nail to the cross with this one because she was trying to lie her way out of that one. And she goes, no, I just went on a walk with somebody. And they asked Ken, do you believe Trish did that? He goes, no, I don't believe that because of who the man is. So the man was somebody she used to talk to before them. And once again, I need timeline because before Ken and during Ken, she was technically married. So was this before Marquez? Like, I need to know context now, Trish. This is why we're talking about her. Nothing ever makes sense. But whatever. She went on a walk with this dude. Ken doesn't believe it. He believes that there was more that happened because this was someone she used to mess with. And you don't just go back to somebody you used to mess with and just go for a walk.
I would like to ask, though, for somebody that was supposed to be with my husband, like me, since high school, why you got so many people you used to mess with that are not from high school and are in your adult life? Trisha's a hoe. Because what? You were supposed to be married. And that's why I point out that Marquez is real quiet and suddenly not a bother and problematic and all of this. And his kids seem to love him and have no problem with him. Like, Trish has been the red flag and the issue. So I don't feel as bad for her no more as I did before ended up with somebody like Ken. Because I'm like, no matter which way you cut it, this lady is questioned. She's a big question mark.
I was so confused. I was like, so wait. Because she was trying to lie her way through this shit. It's like, you can't lie your way through this. And Carlos said, this is why we call you Trisha be lying. Yeah. So, hey friends. Hey Shana. Thank you for being here. It's given open marriage. And that's why me and James believe she did spin the block. I'm saying, I told Shana, this is me. Listen, this is us talking, right? I do think she slept with Marquez in that relationship with Ken. I do think she spent the block with him. I'm sorry. It gives too much to be desired. Like, she took way too long to file that divorce, to get the divorce.
That could be why he's so quiet. He got the coochie. He ain't got no reason to holler.
Right. Thank you. So that's why I'm saying it just gives. So that's why I said I do believe that she met with the guy that Ken thinks that she met with. I do believe that. But I do believe Marquez is somewhere in that as well.
The other funny thing is Ken's delusion to have ever thought that a bitch that you was able to take from somebody else would be faithful to you.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to be the only one playing the game in this and got. So
I am not mad. So Carlos asked, are there wedding bells, in their future? Neither one of them answered the question. Mike, and we all know what the answer is in today's time. No, those two were faking it on that couch. You could definitely see that there was nothing there, that they were trying. He goes, I can't see myself with anybody else. I love this woman. And I'm just like, cut that shit out. Y'all trying to stay on the show.
Y'all
We
say you
get
can't
it.
see yourselves with anybody else after you both took a break to go and be with somebody else.
Right. Y'all need to make that make sense. Because it doesn't. It doesn't make sense at all. We're not stupid. The viewers know what's going on. Y'all are trying to stay on the show. For whatever reason, I don't know. We don't want y'all here. I know that I believe both of them are coming back to the new season, if I understand correctly. Carlos, I don't want this. I don't want this. Why? One be lying, and then the other one, I don't know what he like on a day-to-day because it looked like it changes every time he opens his mouth. I don't want to see them no more. Get them off my screen. Ugh, just ugh. But then we move on to the ladies. Carlos gives a segment to them, and we're talking about this whole debacle that was originally between Nell and Letitia, and somehow Destiny got thrusted in the middle of it. So, what would they come back to discuss? They're not even together. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why Carlos brought them back. I don't understand.
Because he's looking to show drama, embarrassment, relationships that are a joke, not actual healthy relationships. He's just focused on ratings. That's the only reason he's bringing them two back.
It's stupid.
But if we have to get Ken and Trish again, get rid of at least one set of the Scotts, 1.0 or 2.0, or just wipe them out, extinguish them, do something.
Yes. But yeah, we circle back to Letitia and Destiny's issue that circled around, Nell or Destiny be put in the middle of her and Nell. And Destiny said that they had an issue way before Destiny even came back onto the show, which was absolutely true. They absolutely did. And Letitia said, no, that's not true. I never had an issue with Nell. And Nell reminds her that, no, we did have an issue. It was at Trisha's birthday party. Me and you had got into it. And Letitia's like, no, that wasn't no issue, Nell. And even Trish said, no, that was definitely an issue. Like, I don't know what you're trying to play. And Letitia trying to, revise history and act like shit don't be happening. That's always falling on her part. And then the situation is, Destiny's trying to say, well, listen, she was trying to put me in the middle of them two. I'm friends with both of them. I wasn't choosing a side. And she's like, yeah, no, you were definitely choosing a side. And so Kimmi was all like, well, let's get to the core issue with it, Nell. Let's get to the core issue. And Nell said, listen, stop doing that to me. You are not my fucking mama. Stop doing this whole center thing. I don't need to do that. I gave you ass grace one time. I'm not going to do it again. And like Kimmi said, wait, what? Who are you talking to? And they go back and forth, back and forth. That shit was so fucking funny. I'm sorry. Because Nell was about it, hurting all. Nell said, I'll get your ass. Like, we can do this. And Kimmi said, come on in, bitch. I was like, well, damn, Kimmi. Okay. What the hell am I watching? But I was here for it because, as I said, Kimmi had Nell fucked up when she said, I'm going to throw your ass in that pool. I ain't forgot about that shit. And I don't think Nell did either. And I actually would be here for it. Because Nell looked like she really about it and will fuck Kimmi up. So Kimmi might want to be careful. Because Nell looked like one of them short ones that just be ready. I had seen a girl jump 10 feet. I promise you to swing on somebody. It happens. It happens all the time. But I do think it's crazy to me how Letitia always acts like she's oblivious to issues that concern her, and how she wants to act like it's not an issue because it's on the other person's side, it's not on her side. But meanwhile, she causes it. And it's just because she's a hateful person. That's just really what it is. What you saying, Shana? I'm tired of Kimmi acting like her and Nell ain't the same age. Right. I just found out that they were the exact same age. And I think we have Melody to blame for that because Melody said that Nell was the oldest person on the show, but her and Kimmi are the exact same age. I actually think Kimmi is older than Nell. It's kind of like when Giselle played Karen, because Karen was in her last year of her 50s and Giselle is in her 50s that one year. And Karen, and they tried to play Karen like Karen was old and geriatric, and Karen had to remind Giselle, you ain't but a few years apart. You got to turn 62 at some point, right? So yeah. But we get more deep into the whole Tisha and Destiny and where their feud lies. And where the feud lies is basically what she's saying is that at a party at Kimmy's house, they were into it, Judge going back, and she told Destiny that I either fight with you or I divorce Marceau. And Tisha said, "You're a liar. That was never said." And she goes, "100%. You said that." Now, they weren't on camera. This was a private event. We did not see it. And apparently, nobody else heard it. So, all we have is Destiny and Letitia's side of things. I don't know where I stand with this because I can see Tisha saying it. I don't know Destiny to really lie like for conversationalist panels, not so much life outside of the cameras. I don't see her lying about this. So I'm kind of like, ugh, do I believe that Tisha said it? I need to know when this party was. And then maybe because Mrs. Best, do you believe Tisha said that?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Let me know if y'all believe because I'm conflicted. I think I need to know when this party happened for me to say yay or nay. Because I could see her saying it, but I don't know in what context or what timeline that I could believe she's saying. Kimmy wants to read you because Maurice is younger. Nell should have got, yeah. Nell was playing it safe where she didn't want to go gutter because she has to, respectability politics. You don't want to show your whole ass on television. But I feel like Nell's trying to let her know she ain't no punk either. But we're gonna go. I can kind of actually the way I think about it because apparently they had separated at some point filming one of these seasons. It didn't say anything, and somehow they came back together. And now they're stronger than ever. So I do believe that Tisha said it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can believe it just because of them being separated and then never showing it on the show. Allegedly, they were separated, but Carlos tries to mend with them and say, and tries to tell Destiny that when Destiny was off the show, Destiny was never fired, but Destiny decided not to come back. And Tisha called Carlos and saying that, hey, instead of my mama being on the show, can Destiny come back to the show? And Tisha was saying from her standpoint with Destiny, because they were friends, she knew Destiny was going through a hard time, financially, business wise, and she wanted Destiny to have another resource. So she told Carlos, hey, if Destiny calls, answer the phone because I really want her to come back to the show so that way it can help her. Now, I know we're supposed to act like that was supposed to be a moment where Tisha was really looking out for Destiny. But where she lost me in this is that instead of my mama being on the show, how about Destiny come back? That's where I got stuck. Because I was like, so were you really helping her? Or were you needing another ally on the show because you didn't know where you and Melody were going to stand? Like, I have to, a part of me has to, because that to me seems nice and dandy. There were no cameras pointed. Carlos did clear Tisha, but I'm sorry, some part of that did seem calculated to me. I want her back on the show. And if my mama can't be on the show, can Destiny come back? Knowing that Melody was still here and knowing that you had an issue with her. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, so Mrs. Best, I went through a lot because I'm trying to make sure we have time to our day. So I have a few questions for you. So the first question that I have for you is, how did you feel about Nell and Kimmy's back and forth? Were you proud of Nell for getting her?
All the way back there. I mean, I think that it's necessary for people to start checking Nell or to start checking the Scotts. Honestly, the Scotts get away with murder on this show. They are the reason that this show, at times when I felt like needed to be canceled or went to the basement of hell, it's been because of something the Scotts have done So I'm glad that people are calling them out. If you want to get a check, you should be required to be accountable, to interact with others and do the same things as everybody else. And they kind of act like they have to, they act like they can get away with more. So I'm glad that Nell reminded them of who she was. I think Destiny and Nell showed from the very beginning. This is not going to be the reunion that y'all are used to with the deflecting and getting away with shit.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that initially those two were to really get about it and go and fight? Do you think that Neil would give Kimmy the business like she should have when Kimmy said, "I will throw your ass in that pool"? Do you think that
I'm not
Dale would have got
entertaining
her?
any further Black ignorance on this show. I would hope that two women who are both of legal age, damn near to retire or get an AARP card, would not even be talking like they want to fight. But I think when Kimmy is questioned, she's always going to go gutter. She tries to look like she's wise and stuff, but if anybody questions her or goes against her, whether it's Nell or anybody else, that's when suddenly she's calling names and getting active and all of that. So I do think Kimmy thrives having younger castmates. Having castmates in her age group, she don't know what to do with them, which is probably why she's with a younger man. She's probably immature.
Or she thinks she's one of those know-it-alls that get with younger crowds. You ever see one of those people that always get with younger crowds because they feel like they know it all, so they always have people coming to them because
She
they
wants
feel
to look
so.
like she knows it all because she knows that she doesn't. But I also question women like her who get with younger men. Men don't develop or think the same ways as women do. And as women get older, we usually can tolerate less of the BS. So the fact that she's with someone younger that still thinks like a 30-year-old man who can't keep his shit in his pants, just saying, it says a lot about her as well.
I agree with you 110%. My next question is about Tisha revealing her conversation with Carlos. Do you feel Tisha was calculated in having that conversation with Carlos and bringing Destiny back?
I'm surprised you entertain that and think that that's even a thing, because that would be OWN as well as Kingdom Reign Productions admitting that they're given the power of who is cast on the show to cast mates. I don't buy it.
You don't buy that?
No.
I
Who's gonna, instead of my mother getting a check, let me give this random lady a check that I barely know.
Well, she said that they were friends. So
Ain't nobody that good of a friend. I would choose my mama getting money over you. Oh
but
well.
that's why I said I feel like it was calculated because when Destiny came back, Melody was still on the show. And it just seemed to me that Tisha needed an ally. And I felt like to me, that's where I questioned. Because Carlos made it seem like Tisha was just doing this from the greatness of her heart and wanted to see Destiny win. And I'm just like,
That's what I call bullshit.
yeah,
Why would production say that and give a castmate who didn't pitch the show, who fans have been complaining about for seasons, power and an ally? Why would they encourage that? Like, I think that's what my problem with this show. Like,
hmm
half of it don't seem like reality. The other half of it is people deflected. And then this, like, if that's really what you're doing, then get somebody else up there hosting reunions. Because why are you having conversations about who can be cast or not and saying, oh, over my mother, this and that? I don't think that happened. I feel like if Destiny was going to come back, it was because they wanted to add somebody to the show for a reason. And it seems like Tisha's trying to make it seem like she was trying to be a good friend. Carlos is trying to make it seem like there's care between them, but I don't buy it. I feel like they might have just wanted her back.
Here's a I agree with you to some extent that they wanted her back, but the problem was the fans didn't. That's why I'm saying there's a lot of
The
calculation
fans don't
here.
want the Scots, and they're fucking here season after season ruining the show. They make it
hmm
intolerable. And they're here. They're still
Yeah,
here.
but
The
Destiny, let me tell
millimeters,
you.
there's so many people they hated and wanted gone that didn't leave. The fans attacked Tiffany her entire tenure on the show, and it took a
Right.
minute before she decided to leave. But Carlos kept them on there. Like, I just call bullshit on everybody involved. I actually believe Destiny with everything.
Mm.
This whole reunion. I think Letitia Scott is calculated. She gives a miserable woman that may not thrive on seeing others miserable, but it just, she likes to throw rocks and hide her hands, and she's really bad at hiding them.
She is. And that's why I said, that's why I called that. I was like, okay, I'm questioning that because when you think about the timeline, you think about what was going on because Wanda was getting off the show anyway because Melody Martell had to put their hoofs in the sand because she was coming after their kids and saying a whole bunch of shit. So it wasn't like her mama needed to be on the show. And I think she was fighting too hard for her mama to stay on the show. But that lady was leaving regardless. And I think there was a lot going on because we have to remember Kiki's death did happen where that also was a huge part of it. So I don't know. I just feel like to me it's just
Several reasons that Destiny would have came back on the show at the time that she returned, and you just said a lot of them. So for this lady to make it seem like she had anything to do with it just seems obnoxious. I think she's manipulative, very good at reading people, have excellent discernment. I got to read through people's bullshit for a living. Tisha's full of shit, and so is Carlos King. But Carlos King gets a pass because it's his show. Yeah. So it makes sense for him to promote the drama and the bullshit. What Tisha's doing, it just looks like she's going to extremities to hide her life and look like she's better than what she actually is. Because something else you said earlier, this bitch hid her separation from the camera. Yeah. Why the fuck am I going to believe shit that this bitch or her man says when they literally hid their separation on a motherfucking show about showing marriage and love, which separation is sometimes a part of. You go watch Housewives, they share and talk about their separation. You go watch a TLC show, they'll share and talk about their separations. Why the fuck across all the networks on television and all the couples and shows that we've seen, do the Scots think that they are better than everybody else and don't have to share shit? They bring down the show, they can go.
Yeah. I have another question for you when we get to Shana's comment because something she said actually is a part of this. Yeah, I can't stand older know-it-alls. Just because one is older doesn't mean they have more life experience or maturity. That's the truth. Thank you, Shana. Thank you so much. Wanda is just a side character, but I do think Destiny was coming back regardless. Tisha may have, though, played a part in the decision because Carlos allows her to think that. That was going to be my next question. Because do you think that Carlos played in Tisha's face and made her think that?
I literally just said that. I'm not sure if you understood that, but that's literally what I'm saying when I say I can't get mad at Carlos King for playing a part in this. It's his show. His job is to promote the drama. So if letting Tisha believe that she has some type of power promotes the drama, then why not? Tisha is not that smart when it comes to like discernment and dealing with people. She may be good with numbers and whatever it is she does for a living or anything related to her degree, but she's not that smart when it comes to dealing with other people. And it shows. Mm-hmm. It shows. And then you have to think back to season 1, Tisha. You went from being a housewife that looked up to Mel to wanting to be like her to then you get her off the show and now you still can't be her because Mel was likable, but in my opinion, Tisha is not. Mm-hmm. And I am not
none of us are millimeters. Yeah, this was not a
lady on IG, but she was likable, whereas Tisha.
Yeah. So Carlos asked Destiny, "Do you think that you owe Letitia an apology?" Now he pissed me off when he said this because I don't think, on any standpoint, that Destiny owes Letitia an apology. In fact, I think it's the other way around. Letitia owes Destiny an apology for trying to box her in the problems with Nell. And I think that a lot of people are seeing this, but want to paint Destiny the bad guy and the villain in order to protect us. Because I think the production is doing that. Because I don't think Destiny did anything wrong. She's friends with Nell. She's friends with Letitia. She didn't want any parts of anything. And
it's childish to expect your friends to choose sides.
Yes.
At any age. You don't know how people are going to get along. You also don't understand the relationship that your friend may have with another one of your friends because it is separate from you. It's childish as hell to expect someone to choose a side, especially when you want someone to choose your side when you were wrong. Because it's looking like when the show came back after Mel went away, everybody was coming for Nell. Everybody was coming for Nell once Melody left. Then once they saw that the fans, this is what it looks like to me. This is something else that irritates me with this fucking show. Then once they see the fans on social media and Twitter and all of the places saying, oh, now they're coming for Nell because Mel is gone and they want to deflect. I find it very interesting that now there's a problem with Destiny. So I just feel like they just want a different target. She needs to apologize to that girl.
I feel like Tisha does owe Destiny an apology. I don't think Destiny owes Tisha anything. That's just my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, and if someone wants to challenge that opinion and make me see your point of view, fine, I'm open to it. But from what I've seen on the show thus far, there is nothing that Destiny has done, in my opinion, that would warrant her to apologize to Letitia. And
she apologize to Melody, but not Letitia.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
somebody.
she definitely owes Melody an apology. I could see that happening. And Destiny says in her, this is the second friendship that she has been highly emotional on this show, which I'm assuming the first one she's talking about is Mel. And she says that she's not going to squabble in this anymore. It is what it is, and I don't blame her. To me, y'all could have a show without the Scots. If y'all would start isolating them, maybe we might have a different dynamic and view of the show.
I keep telling people the Scots are ruining it. You cannot do reality television, especially a show about your marriage, and then hide your marriage and what's actually going on from everybody. You don't have to tell people everything, but they don't really show anything. And I think it's why their husbands are painted to be terrible, even though they are. But all we can do is go off of the bull that they husbands do, because you don't really know what's going on. And then the still shot that you used for this live was the moment that she was telling Tisha actually that she's not going to do the squabble and the back and forth with her no more. Look at Tisha's face, because she's like, shit, I can't go off because I'll look crazy, but she's not going to argue with me. Then I don't have a storyline. I just feel like I want Destiny to actually, when they come back next season, do not argue with the Scots, don't engage. Just look at her when she do the crazy stuff. Don't give her a moment, because she clearly won't one.
Absolutely. But that was pretty much the reunion part, y'all. We spent too much time on Ken and Trisha and this whether or not that's why I didn't go over all those shit, because they're not together in real time. It's nothing we needed to discuss at this reunion. Maurice and Kimmi are going to continue to deflect, say they would leave each other, not leave each other. I'm tired. And then this back and forth between Destiny and Letitia, who's right, who's wrong, and all of this is really stupid, petty, and childish.
I mean, we have to remember the reunion and the things that they talk about, or the things that you watched on this season of this great beloved show. So if all of the stuff at the reunion discussed is viewed as petty, stupid, and childish, then what does that say about the season that just happened?
That it was petty, childish, and stupid. All of it.
The thing is, Love and Marriage season 1, great show, too many episodes, but a great show. I think this show needs to embrace change a little more and a little better. Don't be afraid to throw new cast members in. Don't be afraid to try that person in Alabama that may not be rich, but has a goal and a day job and is working toward it. Don't be scared to show regular people. I think they need a cast switch. If they change the cast, hell, I might cover the show. But I think it's just that this cast is stale, because it's not a bad idea that he has for the show, even separate from the business aspect. It's interesting to see how people live in states that we normally don't see on TV, unless it's something ignorant like 90 Day Fiance. We don't get too many shows with Black people really outside of like Atlanta, Detroit, or New York. So he has a really good idea and potential to do great things with the show, but he has to change up the cast a little bit. If people don't want to share or deflect, and if everyone that joins the show cannot get along with the Scots or eventually has a problem with them, then remove them.
I'm having a brain fart, but what is that essay called where you start off with the main point and then at the end you come back to it?
Well, all essays should be like that. That would be creating a thesis statement, and then your conclusion paragraph should bring back and summarize all the points you made throughout it for your statement. Why we do a school, James?
Because This show started off with the comeback group and them wanting to do a community service project by buying 40 acres of land and helping low income housing. We somehow got off of that subject and started going into infidelity rumors and everything, that kind of took us away from that. And then they had to sell and get out of the partnerships because of the group drama. It's just like Bell Collective. Bell Collective was about revitalizing a historic monumental street in Mississippi that is actually in history books. But
Letitia Pearson
somehow,
does nothing historical but stay married to Little Boosie's evil doppelganger.
but I'm just saying, I think that that's why we still have hope for this show is because it started out with a very important attribute and then somehow drama ensued and now we don't have that anymore.
Yeah. Shana is correct though. All of these shows we
Yes.
start in good faith and then we lose it. But they change their cast and it keeps the shows going. Why am I still looking at the Scotts after 11 seasons? Like, why is Martell still here? There's just a lot of questions that I have.
Shana said, none of these people are rich. If they were so many episodes, maybe we get better quality. Oh, damn, Shana, yes. But here's the thing. Tisha said, we're all millionaires sitting on this couch. That's what she said. We'll see what reunion was that where she said all of us are but she was going back and forth, I think with Stormy.
I ain't never known a millionaire to take corn in a can and put it into a skillet. But you know what? There's a lot I don't know, and I can accept that. We're all just learning.
Shana said, I'll take the Scots, but we can let Trish and Ken go and definitely bring in a few new couples. One of the Scots got to go. I'm with Mrs. Best. One of the Scots got to go. I don't care which one. I don't care which one it is. One of them got to go. They definitely need new couples.
Kimmi and Maurice to go because Marceau and Tisha are a lot, but Tisha's so damn dingy and lacks discernment that sometimes I do find entertainment in which she can't deflect and struggles to see that she really has been proven wrong by everybody. Like when she stormed out with the bottle at Kimmi showing, I lived for that because I agree with Tisha. If I'm mad too, give me my motherfucking bottle. I'm not leaving this shit with you. I'm going to take it with me. So Tisha gives us little moments like that. But Kimmi and Maurice, like Maurice is not fun. He also stresses me out. Every time I look at him, he reminds me of a meerkat when they're looking up at you from the little hole they dig. Like, I don't care for Maurice. I don't feel he's funny. He's not entertaining. I think he lies the most and has been the least open on this show, with the exception of him sharing the situation with his son in Kiowa. But if I have to keep a Scott, I would keep Marceau and Tisha because at least they can make us laugh sometime. Kimmi and Maurice is just like sex, life. I know this and I know that and what I want for the group. And I'm tired of hearing Kimmy's lectures.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put her back. That part.
That's all of our face too, watching them out the dough.
Yes. Shana says she Sots 2.0 can go when Marceau leaves Tisha. I want it filmed.
That's right. Keep Marceau and Tisha. They are good TV. But Kimmi and Maurice, like goodbye. Good night. Buenas noches.
All right. Well, that was reunion part one, y'all. Like I said, there wasn't much discussed. I just wanted to get to this last part of these ladies because I thought this was the most interesting part of it all.
You think Lance gonna come out?
If he do, I'm a holler because why would he need to come out?
You know he looking for his next big one, his next big shot.
Some tell me Carlos gonna add him to the show.
That's why I'm asking you.
If Carlos add Lance and that young,
Fletchers. He's saving the Fletchers for the end. It seems like.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I feel like he could do it. And he would tie into the show, especially with that Trish situation. I need her to answer that question. So actually, I do want him to come. Yeah, I actually do want him to come out, actually.
Listen, the Fletchers and Destiny gave us a season. Because really, outside of the beef that the Scots had really with Destiny. Like they didn't really give us much. Even in Detroit, they was there for Destiny.
We sure did. Chris kept that real estate thing. I can't wait till we get to that part.
He ain't gonna explain
That
nothing.
well, he's gonna say, "Well, I can because legally, it's it's in
It's
the
still in
court and
process.
it's process."
So Sean will be the first to know.
Yeah.
That's predictable.
Yes.
I always told y'all, don't trust the OG nigga that's known and has been seen to cheat on his wife, and his beard is a different color from the rest of his hair. That difference in scalp hue, I told y'all he was shady. And then look, y'all said I was mean, and then we opened the season with his broker license gone. Trying to tell y'all.
Chris, is that midnight cocoa bean on the top of that head? Let me know.
His hair looked real healthy.
It does. I was say it's a
It
nice
looks
head of hair.
beautiful.
It's a nice head of hair. It really is.
I keep
But
a wig on too if I was Nell next to that hair. Guys, I'm trying to tell you.
oh God. All right, y'all. We go moving along to. I think I have Bell Collective up next. Let me look at my lineup.
He could talk about his hero, Letitia Pearson.
Oh, we gonna be laughing a long time at
That's
that part.
James's hero,
Uh,
our
let me
favorite
see.
millionaire.
Y'all, we gonna get into Bell Collective, but make sure you guys like the video, comment. Shout out to my replay game. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. Thank you, Shana, for lighting me up in these comments and tell everybody to like the video. Y'all do what Shana says and like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We will be back next week for part 2 and then part 3, and that will be Mrs. Best's last time doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. She is leaving me for only this show. But yes, we are going to be back next week. We're going to get into, I believe, Bell Collective next, and I will see you guys all there. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye now.